I'm here with Daxon Rudolph, who's projected to be one of the top picks in 2026 NHL draft. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I wanted to ask you some of your strengths and, like something that's overlooked that you do on the ice.
Um, I think one thing that doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet or I guess isn't too flashy for social media and stuff is just like plays under pressure. I think for myself, I play the game with a lot of poise and a lot of confidence when under pressure. So I think, especially in my D zone, like just breakout passes with a forechecker right on me is something I excel at and try and continue to work on. And I think it's a big part of my game.
What is one player that you model your game after?
I think I got to say Drew Doughty or maybe a little bit of Charlie McAvoy as well.
What is one like tip or drill that you've kind of honed in on to excel in, your mobility, your transition game? You have an incredible shot. I was watching your highlights and it's just snipe after snipe. So, what are some of the drills that you do to incorporate that in your game?
Yeah, I think just off the ice whenever I'm at home or in the summertime, especially, you can shoot a lot of pucks, and I try and do that as much as I can in the garage and stuff. Um, but a drill that I'd say we work on a lot is just like point shooting. After every practice, just grab a couple of the other D men on your team and just kind of work on little things, whether it's shooting from the point, walking the line, like footwork, whatever it is. Those all add up throughout a season, and I think if you can find some of your buddies or your D partner you can do stuff with, it really helps.
I was never really a good shooter, so I'd break a window or two. Have you ever broken a window based on how powerful the shot is?
No, I haven't. I got a huge tarp, so it's pretty hard to miss.
Oh, that's nice. That's good. What's
Yeah.
uh the what's the play that you've rewatched the most that you've made over the years?
Ooh. Um, I'd say probably my OT winner from U15 prep um, in the finals in the playoffs. We ended up being getting on a breakaway and scored an OT winner against Ring Kelowna to win in overtime. It was probably the coolest moment. And I've played in hockey to that point in my career, and I think afterwards it's kind of blew up a little bit, and I've probably rewatched that one the most.
And you've been described as one of the most like dynamic D-men in the 2026 class. Like, how would you describe your game?
I think I'm a two-way D man. Like you said, yeah, pretty good skating. Try to be dynamic. I love playing offense, setting up teammates. I think my vision and IQ kind of lead the way. That way, I think I set up and find teammates really well, and but also a player who takes pride in their D zone. I like shutting down the other team's top lines and seeing a zero on the score sheet for them after the game as well. So that's important to me as well.
What do you think is the best game you've ever played when you were just like, I'm on it, I'm feeling it?
Um, I'd say that's interesting. Maybe game two of our first round this year against the Oil Kings. Game two or seven, probably, I would say. Um, both our game two was following a loss. I wasn't very great in game one. Ended up bouncing back and getting the win in game two, and I thought I had a really good game. And then game seven was a blast as well. I ended up winning 5-0 at home. So the guys were rolling. I think every player on our team was ready for the moment and excelled.
What was like the biggest jump that you had to take in going to like major juniors? Was there something that you had to like really understand your first couple games and then it kind of just like click like speed, physicality, the tempo?
Um, I don't think it's necessarily the speed of the game. I think if you think the game at a high level, it's not too hard to catch up on. But I think the big thing for me was just like defending, stick detail, all that little stuff in the D zone. In U18, you kind of have the puck a lot more, or you're like getting it back pretty quickly. Um, Whereas in junior, like sometimes you can get hemmed in your end, or on the top line, it's not as easy to take the puck from them. So stick positioning and detail, I think, would be my biggest thing I had to adjust to this year, and then when you get a chance to close, you gotta close and make sure you pin them and stop their progression. Give them no space. I think that's the biggest thing is just defending in the corners against these high end forwards.
Yeah, so you had an incredibly productive season for your first year in the dub, and then you elevated your game in the playoffs. So what do you think that like a part of your game that helps you elevate in the playoffs when things get more intense?
Yeah, I think it's just part of who I am. I love the big moments. Super competitive kid, always have been, and when the lights are on, I seem to shine, and I love it. Those games are a blast, and that's why we play the game. So, um, super pumped to play in big games like that. And I mean, the playoffs are what it's all about. Yeah, it was incredible little run we had, but yeah, it was lots of fun. And I think, yeah, just like I said, competitive kid who loves the big stage, and yeah, that's why I ramp up for those ones.
I love that answer. I want to ask you like who the best player you've ever played against was, like that gave you like just you were like, wow.
Well, in our round two, I think Gavin McKenna kind of had some highlight reel goals. He's probably be like he's definitely the most skilled player I've ever seen live or played against. But one that maybe most people won't say, um, like Braden Yeager. When he got moved to Lethbridge, we played him like shortly after World Juniors, and he just like I think he had 5 points. Kind of opened my eye playing the Hurricanes.
I mean, what is it like playing overagers that like are in the NHL, drafted in the NHL, or it's like how different is it than playing somebody that's like a first year player?
Yeah, 100%. It's experienced guys, a little bit of NHL experience as well. They definitely, when you're playing against them, they push the pace and they play a really good, complete game. And I think that's what makes them NHL drafted. Like that's a part of who they are and how they play the game is at just another level than everyone else, and that's why they excel. I think just not really a dig against first year players, but sometimes just experience is important as well. And lots of them have, like I said, been to dev camps of NHL teams, been a couple years in the league. So just a little bit of experience and confidence, I think, allows them to play at just another level.
What does it feel like to be draft eligible?
It's awesome, super exciting. Obviously, just watched the draft for the 2007 class in June, and just seeing all their dreams come true with the announcement of their name is something I want to feel, something I want to experience, and can't wait for this year.
So, can you tell me about like your first NHL jersey you owned, as well as like the team you grew up watching?
Yeah, I think first NHL jersey I owned would have been Kevin Bieksa Canucks jersey. My dad is from Kelowna, so he was a Canucks fan and kind of brought me on board in my childhood. And so always watching them when I grew up. But once I kind of had my own opinion, it was Sidney Crosby. He was always the guy for me. Um, yeah, had a few of his jerseys, Penguins blankets everywhere. Watching them win the cup in 16 and 17. And yeah, I've always been a Penguins guy just because of him.
So, obviously, there was a multiple Vancouver-based players that went number one, like in Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard. Can you tell me a little bit about like those players, like how they've had success so early in their NHL careers at such a young age?
Yeah, it was incredible for them to do what they've done at 18 years old as a rookie in the NHL. Both super, super elite players, obviously, taking different routes to the NHL, which is kind of interesting. Um, Connor Bedard, obviously, so dominant his whole life, exceptional status, whatever. Tore up the WHL as well before his NHL career and continues to excel with Chicago. And then, yeah, Macklin played in college and just lit it up as a freshman there at Boston University with, I think, allowed him to be consensus number one pick.
So, if you could pick one NHL forward to go 1v1 against, who would it be and why?
I think probably Connor McDavid.
Mhm.
Just see what he does to everyone on TV, all these NHL D men that are so good at what they do, and one little mistake can cost you that quickly with him. I think just to see his speed live and coming at you would be something maybe I want to experience in practice before a game, but hopefully can maybe make his life miserable for a couple of rushes.
So, like pregame rituals, who's had the weirdest one, and do you have a weird pregame ritual?
Um, I don't really think I have any weird ones. I kind of just get dressed right to left, stick handle before the game. Do kind of have a routine, but if something goes wrong or whatever reason I can't get to that routine, it's not necessarily a big deal for me. But I think our goalie Max Hildebrand, he has a very detailed schedule before his game. I wouldn't necessarily say they're weird. He just has a lot of prep and he's pretty strict to what he does leading up to a game, which is pretty interesting and kind of cool to see. He's very dialed in all the time, and it helps him out there. So probably he would be the guy that kind of has the one where it's just like one after another for a few hours before the game. But
What's your go-to song for pregame?
so honestly, this year we don't listen like after our office warm-ups, we don't have any music in the room. Um, so we're not really listening to anything from about 6 o'clock till 6:25 or whatever we get on for warm-ups. But before that, I'd say throw in anything by Drake and it'll get me and the boys pretty fired up.
So, like, say you have to do a rookie karaoke. What is your song you're singing?
Yeah, we did this on our BC trip last year. I think I sang Party in the USA, Katy Perry. Yeah, kind of a
That's a good
classic,
one.
but yeah, someone I can kind of get the crowd into it a little bit. Didn't end up winning Rookie Idol, but that's okay.
I get a lot of Rihanna. Matthew Schaefer said Rihanna. Like a lot of players say Rihanna. So it's always funny to hear. So
Yeah,
how do you balance being a game-changing defenseman with playing like team first hockey?
yeah, I think that's something I had to adjust to this year as well. Kind of coming in, just focus on what I can do for the team. But as I got more and more comfortable, kind of started to play my game more. The numbers came with that, and kind of played a little bit more offensive style game like I'm used to. But I think you just got to balance it. I think most teams nowadays want D man to jump anyways and kind of join the rush and create offense as well. So I think if you find a happy medium somewhere between joining up and jumping up, but not getting beat back is a good way to look at it. Being a game changing defenseman is super hard, and everyone wants to do it, but the ability to play both sides is super important as well. So I think do whatever you can for your team, and then the offense will come.
I'm not sure if I asked you this because I just got off with another prospect, but what's one thing that teammates know about you that fans probably don't?
Oof. Um, I could speak two languages. I'm fluent in French and English. Maybe that one.
Nice.
They don't know. Another one, I played ringette before I played hockey. Just allowed me to be on the ice more a week. So my parents put me in ringette before hockey.
So I'm actually not sure what that is. What is that?
Ringette.
Yeah.
It's like more common for girls to play. I don't even know how to describe it. Like there's a ring on the ice and like you like there's so many different rules. The blue line, like you got to pass it over the blue line. Only allowed three players from the top of the circles down. Um, but yeah, it's a pretty competitive sport for girls in Alberta. I don't know. I think some guys can play as well, but yeah, it's a different sport that allowed me to be on the ice.
So what other sports did you play growing up? Or who was your other favorite professional teams that wasn't hockey?
I love Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Nice.
Growing up through my parents as well. And then I played a lot of golf, baseball, basketball, lacrosse when I was really young. Um, yeah, I tried to be active as a kid. I think being a multi-sport athlete is super important, and I was lucky to do that when I was growing up.
Have you had a welcome to the spotlight moment where like media scouts, fans recognize you and how'd that feel?
Um, Maybe a little bit. When me and Riley Boys Truck got back from U17s, in November, we had a autograph signing night after our home game in PA, and just the amount of PA fans who um, cared so much to come see us and congratulate us on winning gold there at the U17 World Challenge was special and kind of a moment of realization how cool it really is and how many fans wanted to share that with us as well.
Can you take me through that moment of winning gold? And also, do you like wear it around or chirp like friends, like not chirp friends, but like show it off sometimes? Like, wow, this is cool.
Uh, no, not really. I kind of just if they come to my house, like I got my picture or my jersey and my medal framed, but I don't I don't really give it to them afterwards. No. But yeah, winning gold, that was a moment I'll never forget. Just being with all my teammates and the grind through that tournament and just having a blast with the best of the best in Canada is a lot of fun. And when that buzzer hit zero and we were world champs, it's something I'll never forget.
What are you working on most right now to make sure, you're NHL ready when the time comes?
I think just my first three strides and kind of just becoming quicker and a little more explosive.
So like for power skating, like what kind of tips and drills would you do to continue to be a better power skater and like how do you help your first three strides?
I think more so off the ice, with strength, like in the weight room and stuff, doing a little bit more like power output stuff and plyos. I think just gonna allow my legs to be more explosive and not necessarily like a skating thing, more just like fast twitch strength thing off the ice. But
And do you have a player comparison for yourself? I know who you model your game after, but for you specifically?
uh, yeah, I think still those two guys. Yeah, Doughty and McAvoy would probably be the two.
And you've seen like a lot of right-handed defensemen come out recently, like Artem Levshunov, and there's been just like Radim Mirka and Logan Hensler and some of these guys. What have you taken from like the guys that get drafted before you into your game? Do you like look at any of those prospects?
A little bit. Sometimes hard to keep up with all the different leagues and stuff. When we were going through a season, but the guys within the Western League I keep up to for sure. Trying to see a little bit of Merca. He's obviously a huge guy and plays the game really well and is just a motor. He plays the full 60 the same way he played the first 10. Like his energy doesn't stop and he's got a long stick and defends really well, but also has enough skill to jump and contribute offensively. He's a really good player and um, super good for him to go to Buffalo.
I that was really cool. We kept seeing each other at the draft in LA, and he came up to me and said, "Hey," because I interviewed him. Like he's a great kid. So I
Yeah,
I
that's
always like Murka. But are you're listed at 6'1"? Is that still a fair estimate of your height? And are you still growing?
I believe I'm still growing, yes. I measured in what Wednesday is like 6'2.5", so
Nice.
I think 6'1" is almost dating back to NAX, maybe the start of last year, but I've been 6'2" for a little while and just got over recently after the season ended, so hopefully still
I'll
going
tell
up a little bit.
I'll tell the guys at EP to have them increase that. That's awesome. So obviously when I watch you play and a lot of scouts, you see the dynamic shot, the dynamic skating, and obviously you said you were working on your first three strides, but like when you hear that whistle and the puck drops, like what are you trying to do? Like are you trying to command the game? Like what is your mindset going into a game?
I think as much as I can have the puck on my stick and control the play. Um, for me, a big mental note is just kind of keep my feet moving. I think when I'm making plays on the move and constantly in motion, it's hard for other teams to defend, and things lanes open up for me that way, and I can create stuff and offensively, and yeah, end up leading to some scoring chances, which is obviously what I want to do every time I'm on the ice. So yeah, I think for me, when the puck drops, it's just a clear mind, play with confidence, move your feet, and make plays.
Are you a chirper on ice, and what's the funniest chirp you've ever heard?
I wouldn't say I chirp too much anymore now that I got a visor on. Don't really want to throw the consequences or yeah, go through that experience. But um, I think one of the craziest ones I've ever heard is uh, like Jerry Civic. He's on our team this past year, and he has an NHL contract with the Kraken. Some guy's giving it to him about, well, I don't know, like his warm up. He's crossing the red line, like he's gonna get fined or whatever, and he's just telling him he's gonna pay for it himself. He'll pay for a new rink because we're playing Swift Current, like just stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, he can say that he's got a contract behind it. So pretty cool, I guess, for him. Just have that confidence all the time, and yeah.
So after a long successful NHL career, would you rather be a GM or a coach?
I'd say a coach, probably.
Nice. And is there is there a perfect like most realistic 5-year plan? Like in 5 years, you want to be known as the D man who blank.
Um, Want a Stanley Cup, maybe?
Nice, nice. What does your day with the cup look like?
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't even thought about that. Say first thing is bring it back home to my family and friends. Maybe hit the golf course with it or something. Have a nice dinner out of the bowl, maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Let's cross that bridge when it gets there, hopefully.
I like that. What is the specific meal that you would eat in there, or your favorite meal of all time?
Um, I think favorite meals a good steak with some mashed potatoes and a salad or something on the side.
So if you're having like dinner with four athletes, past or present, who would they be?
Um, I think I put myself, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and Sidney Crosby.
Hey, that's great. What's the first question you're asking?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Um, what's it like to be so dominant? Maybe no. Probably ask them some stuff that I could take in, like advice wise. Just their mindset going through different experiences or how things unfolded for them and how they handled it, stuff like that.
And is there like something you do off the ice, like hobbies that do you play Fortnite, like any video games, anything like that?
No, I actually don't. I have an Xbox, but I don't play. I haven't played for like 2 years now. Um, I think just yeah, I don't really know why. I just kind of lost the love for it or the like. But I used to play a lot of like NHL and those types of games when I was like growing up.
Any like board games that you grew up on? Like, what's your favorite childhood game?
Um, I like chess a lot right now.
Nice.
And like recently over the past like 5 years, chess has really grown on me, and I like that. A board game growing up, um, oof, maybe a game called Sorry.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, I think me and my family played that one a lot when we were young. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good game. Very underrated. I've never got Sorry, but I've played it so many times. So you're the first prospect
Yeah,
that has said that. So I like that. I
that's a
uh
good one.
I grew up playing chess. I was like a chess champion in fourth grade, which means nothing because you're playing against other
Yeah,
fourth graders. But I've gotten so much worse at it. But when I first started like trying to interview players, I always thought maybe do it with a game of chess because I thought it would be like hot ones where you're not
yeah,
like thinking, you're just answering. But yeah, chess is a great game, very strategic. So I like that you said that.
yeah. I love it. I kind of started getting into it a lot during my U15 prep year, my WHL draft year.
Mhm.
Um, Brett Liskey plays for the Everett Silvertips. He's kind of a guy that like played it a lot, and I wanted to compete with him and play with him. So we had a lot of battles in chess.
And lastly, because you've given me so much of your time and I really appreciate all this, is there like a question that you like have never been asked in an interview, but you've always wanted to be asked, like something that, you feel that you're very passionate to talk about?
Um, I think a lot of questions come from like your game on the ice and stuff like that, but something I feel like is really important to hockey players and is just the kind of like kids they are and like how competitive um, we can be at times. And I don't really know if I have a question for it to answer, but just I think talking about kind of life away from the game and stuff like that, like we've done today, is super important. Just getting to know not just who they are on the ice, but off the ice as well, and just yeah, the kind of kids they are and people and what they like to do away from the game, stuff like that.
So I'll ask that question, like like what is an NHL team or, community and like a state basically getting with you?
I think down to earth, um, down to earth guy who likes people and likes meeting new people and talking to people about different things and kind of just having fun. I think that's a little bit underappreciated at times. The season can be long and a grind, and I think just having fun at each and every day, no matter what, is super important. And find little things to be grateful for that maybe cheer up your mood or whatever. But I think having fun all the time is super important to me.
And then lastly, actually, like what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind on and off the ice?
In a perfect world, a legacy is a good community, good family man, someone who cares for the people around him and kind of leads by example and not afraid to speak up, but also on the ice, yeah, again, a leader, very elite player, um, someone who didn't take a night off, was there, showed up every night and battled his heart out for the guys around him and that team in front of his crest. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is someone who played for his teammates and the logo in front is when everyone's doing that, special things happen.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was absolutely awesome. I can definitely tell you're a very down-to-earth person, so it was great to talk to you and get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you having me. That was fun.